All right, guys, what's going on? We are back. All new episode of Maxim Outdoors. This week, I'm taking you to beautiful Cook Forest State Park. It's obviously fall. Today, I'm going to be showing you some ancient hemlock trees, a swinging bridge, and some awesome views. So let's go. Part 3 here from Cook State Forest and the 17th state park in my state park series. What are we waiting for? Let's go hike. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to day 3 here from Cook Forest State Park. This is my 17th state park in case you missed the last 2 episodes. It was a balmy 35 degrees last night here at site 181. Got pretty chilly, but did buy a new tent heater here, and it did a pretty good job. I only had it running for about 2 minutes at a time, and it felt like it got the tent up to about 100 degrees in those 2 minutes. So we'll look at Camp Maxim here as we prepare for today's adventure. So like I said, if you missed the first 2 episodes last week and the week before, we tackled the fire tower, Seneca Point, as well as hiking down to the Clarion River and seeing an old man-made waterfall / levee. So today I'm going to be doing a trail I've never done before and taking you into the Forest Cathedral area here at Cook Forest and show you a little glimpse of what we're going to be doing today. There's honestly a lot of trails, too many to name. So camp is right here. This is where we are right now. We're going to catch this camp trail over through this area and hike the North Country Trail a little bit and pretty much do this entire loop here, if you can see that, and eventually head on down to where it says Indian here and come back up and cut back over. So that is kind of the gist of the day, but the goal is to make it to the swinging bridge, which is down here by Indian. So should be a lot of elevation gain today and some big miles. I wouldn't be surprised if we did another 10 miles today. So I'm gonna get the rest of my stuff ready and we're gonna head on down this way and catch the camp trail before linking back up with the North Country Trail. So that's the gist. State Park number 17 back here at Cook Forest, having a blast, even though it's a little chilly. But yeah, let's go try and find the swingy bridge and check out the old ancient forest, as they call it here. So all right, let's get going. All right, well, we're gonna say goodbye to camp, at least for a couple hours here. Site 181, highly recommend it. We're gonna go through this clearing here and make a right just ahead here. So this is the camp trail. We're gonna be following this until we get to a road, and then we'll be hooking up with the North Country Trail. So we're gonna be seeing a lot of cool stuff today, including the swinging bridge that I was talking about today. But we're also gonna run into an old fountain, maybe some old CCC monuments and relics of the past. And we'll also be seeing some of the oldest trees here in the northeastern part of Pennsylvania, believe it or not. I was just reading last night, I guess back in the 1600s, there was a massive forest fire in this area that burnt down a lot of the trees. They regrew. So most of the trees here are actually from the 1500s, if you can believe that. Pretty old trees. A lot of white pines as well as hemlocks. And you can see this area is no different. But the spot we're heading to today is called the Forest Cathedral. And we'll see why. So let's hit the trail here. This is the camp trail, like I said. And we'll hike this until we hit the road here. So let's go. This is steep. All right, well, before we get there, one of the first stops we're going to be making today is an old memorial fountain built back in the 1950s. So long before this was a state park, the Cook family pretty much owned all of this area, and a bunch of locals decided to get together and try to pitch in some funds to buy all of this area here. And obviously it became a state park after that. But the Cook company owned the Forest Cathedral area. So a lot of locals chipped in, as well as some outsiders, and poured in a ton of money to try and buy, you know, the Forest Cathedral area. Eventually they were successful. They bought the land off of the Cook company, and in the 1950s they decided to build a little, you know, thank you to those people that provided the funds. So that's going to be one of the first stops we're going to see, is the old memorial fountain. Just kind of wanted to fill you in on that before we get there. A really cool old bridge down there. Look at that. All right, well, as I said, we made it to the old memorial fountain built back in 1950 in honor of the citizens that saved this area from deforestation and the logging industry. So as you can see here, pretty cool, seemingly in the middle of nowhere. But all thanks to these people over here, we have this beautiful natural area that was never touched by anything. And I did notice something kind of funny here. Not that a lot of you people will care, but Taylor Alderdice was the vice president of the Cook Forest Association. I actually went to Alderdice High School, so that's kind of funny that he had involvement here. But yeah, this is the first stop of many here. The old memorial found dedicated to those that saved this land and eventually made it into a state park. So we're still on the North Country Trail here. We're going to keep continuing on. And yeah, beautiful morning. Starting to warm up a little bit. It's probably in the 40s now. But yeah, we're going to keep heading on. So let's see what we can run into next. All right, well, the more elevation we gain, the larger and larger these trees seem to get. Take a look at this old hemlock here. Huge, absolutely huge. So, in case you didn't already hear me say, this tract of forest here is one of the largest virgin tracts of land in the northeast area of the United States. A lot of people even think all the way out to the Rockies, preserving all these old white pines and hemlocks. The sign down there said that some of these trees are pushing over 200 feet. As you can see, that one could easily claim that. And some of them are even 3 foot wide at the base, but some of them seem even larger than that. So these trees would have seen a lot in their history, you know, back in the 1600s, 1500s, that they say some of these were little saplings. You know, they would have seen Native Americans hunting these woods. They would have seen mountain lions, bison, elk, all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't think about seeing anymore out in these areas. Pretty crazy to think. But yeah, this is officially the natural area that we're walking in right now. And you can see what old growth forest actually looks like. Here's a little interesting sign along the North Country Trail here. I guess back in August 1956, a wind throw, kind of like a tornado, came through this area and knocked down a lot of the old growth white pines and hemlocks. And it says that they cleaned out most of it, but you can see some remnants still here. But yeah, interesting little stop. I'm getting my morning shower right now, like we had yesterday. Must be a October thing, but yeah, we're gonna keep heading up. We actually skipped the ancient forest trail and we're continuing up on the North Country Trail. So we're making good progress, I think. A lot faster than I thought I would be today. But another look at these old ancient trees here. Some of them that survived the wind throw, as they called it. So yeah, we're gonna keep gaining elevation, starting to sweat a little bit, but yeah, enough rambling. Let's hook up with the next trail here. I think I might have found my first sign of Bigfoot ever. Check this out. Okay, well, some beautiful fall foliage up along this dirt road here, but we have made it to the next little intersection here. We just got off of the rhododendron trail, came up through that thicket there, and this is the parking area that I said earlier. We're gonna be heading down this way, the logging road. I think it's about a mile, and then after we reach the next intersection, we're gonna start to descend down to Indian Shelter, I think it's called. So yeah, some cool views up here. Love the shot of that road with all the leaves and whatnot. But yeah, we're gonna head on down this way. Looks like it's a pretty well taken care of trail, but you know what happens whenever I say that. But all right, let's keep going. We'll be at the swinging bridge hopefully within the next hour if all goes right. So I was a little hesitant about doing this trail yesterday when I was scouting out what I was going to do today, but check this out. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a Christmas tree form up here. Little pine trees as far as you can see, and then all of a sudden it just goes to these old white pines in the distance there. So yeah, awesome views here. Well, this is pretty interesting here. And no, it's not a prop from Willy Wonka or Dr. Seuss. This is actually an old chestnut tree back from 1920, the sign says. So if you're not really familiar with chestnut trees, a blight moved through Pennsylvania, much like a disease, spreading throughout the state and killing off pretty much each and every chestnut tree. These were one of the most highly sought after trees that the lumber industry was after. And unfortunately, we really don't have any of them left here in Pennsylvania. But this is pretty cool to see this still standing since 1920. Now, if you remember, I said that the hemlock trees in this park, some of them are about 3 foot wide at the base. Well, the sign here says that these chestnut trees could grow up to over 18 feet across. Now imagine that. That would give the redwoods some real competition, but really cool looking tree here, or what used to be a tree. So yeah, we're looking at an old chestnut tree from 1920, still standing. Obviously not alive anymore, but shame to see it. Hopefully we get some chestnut trees back here in Pennsylvania here soon. And it said that the CCC try to salvage a lot of these downed trees and use them in construction for shelters and cabins and bridges and you name it. So yeah, we're going to keep moving on here. I think we're on the JOYCE KILMER trail, probably like the 6th or 7th trail we've been on today, but we should be coming up to the swinging bridge here relatively soon. Well, here's a quick look at what I believe is the only cabins that you can rent out in the state park. There's a ton of other options though outside the state park. Looks like there's maybe 10 to 15 back there. And then you have this youth only trout lake here. Take the kids up and do some fishing. So yeah, I'm gonna check the map and see exactly where I gotta go now. All right, well, according to the map, looks like we have to hike through a little cabin area here. This cabin area is just called Indian, in case you're wondering. Maybe you want to book one of these cabins one day. Like I said, There's not too many, maybe 10 to 15. But yeah, I see the trail just ahead here. So the swinging bridge, or today's big destination, should be coming up here in just a few short minutes. So let's go. Almost to the swinging bridge. I am literally standing in the middle of Tom's Run right now, and just behind me here is the Cook Forest famous swinging bridge that has been eluding me now for years and years and years, but finally made it here. Perfect day to check it out and all the fall foliage. Yeah, got some passerbys going across the bridge right now, so we'll be going across there in just a minute. All right, well, good look at the suspension bridge before we head on across here, across Tom's Run. But let's give you a first-person view crossing this bad boy here. And here we go. We're on. It is just as wiggly as you would imagine. Alrighty, well, saying goodbye to the old swinging bridge. As you can see, it was an absolute madhouse. I think I was there for maybe 20 minutes and saw about 100 people stopping and taking pictures. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it does get a bit busy, so maybe try and do that early in the morning if you want to try and experience it by yourself, not at noon like it is now. So right now I'm running parallel with Tom's Run. This is the Tom's Run trail, and we are getting into the nitty-gritty part of the day. I think we're going to be on this for about a mile and then link back up with the camp trail that we started the day out, and that'll be it. So just taking in these beautiful views of Tom's Run. Back in the day, this is where the old mills and sawmills would have been, along this little creek here that the Cook brothers or the Cook family built. So yeah, just a little trail update, and yeah, having fun out here, Cook Forest. Well, all right, looks like we made it to the end of the road. Might have to make a stream crossing here due to the bridge being out, but I will say if you only have time to do one trail or one hike here at Cook Forest State Park, I give 2 thumbs up to the Tom's Run trail. We're still following along this little stream, aka Tom's Run, and did about 5 or 6 trails today, and this was by far my favorite. So I'm gonna attempt to make it across this creek here, and we'll be in the home stretch here, making it back to camp. So I'll see you on the other side. All right, well, back to where it all started. Just over that ridge line there is that fountain that we found early this morning. So one last bridge crossing, and of course we got to tackle that big nasty camp trail or whatever it was called. That's literally straight up. But that's gonna wrap up this video. I don't really think we have anything else to see today. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Thank you for being around, and leave me a comment. Maybe tell me what your favorite state park is, maybe one that you want me to check out. Like the video, check me out on Facebook and Instagram as well. A lot of sneak peeks and stuff on those social media accounts. But yeah, one last look here at Cook Forest. It was fun, and that's gonna wrap up the series here. Part 3, State Park number 17. All right, guys, not really sure where you're gonna see me next, but stay tuned and you'll find out. All right.